All right. Good.
All right.
Move that lamp.
Okay. And
Make sure the computer is recording.
yep.
Yep. Fix your lighting.
Okay, hold on.
Fix your lighting, Kurt.
All right.
Put pants
Okay.
on too, Kurt.
I don't need to. We're at a desk.
No, well, you still. It doesn't have a tablecloth on it, Kurt. Put some pants
Okay.
on.
Fine.
Ready? 5,
Check your.
4. Check your levels. Are you good?
Yep.
All right.
Levels, check.
all right, let's do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Nook's Tavern. I am your humble host, Philip D. Keating, and with me, as always, is my excellent co-host, Kurt Booten. Man, how are you?
Hey man, everything's good over here. Just it's actually good to be doing this live finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than just running around town
Nope.
and talking about. Oh, where are you going?
Well, you
Oh.
were sorry. First time live on camera here on
Got a little
Twitch, so-
scared?
a little bit. I thought about leaving because I didn't want to do this anymore, but I decided that we're already doing it live, so I might as well get back in my seat.
Okay, just remember the camera is a friend, and there's nobody here to make fun of you.
Okay, great. Yeah, not
Except-
on the internet.
for
Of
me.
course not. Okay, great. So let's start out by getting all of the boring stuff out of the way. We're going to go over patch notes for 1.1.4. There's a few, but they're kind of important. So a little bit of a save data issue that they bugged, fixed, and all that. And then with Flick, they had some issues with Flick. So after this 1.1.4, if you give Flick the required number of scarab beetles again, you will receive the correct model. Whatever that means. I haven't had Flick in my town yet, so I'm not really worried about that too much.
But I flick in my town once, but yeah, I don't have scarab beetles.
Yeah, I've never had scarab beetles, so I'm not really worried about that. But the more important thing is that the drop rate on these eggs have finally been lowered.
Ah, so much better.
It is. I've noticed it, and maybe not through balloons, but definitely through fish. But the good thing is that they have increased the egg drop rate on Bunny Day itself, which is April 12th, this upcoming Sunday as of release.
So have you done all of your Bunny Day activities up till now?
No, I've done 0 Bunny Day activities. I currently, I don't know, in my storage have about 90 eggs of each, but I've yet to craft a single thing, just because I really don't care too much.
Oh, I finished crafting everything
Well, great. So
that I can craft. So if you need extra eggs, just let me know.
Aw.
As long as I have enough to build whatever Zipper gives me, which I know it's going to be. But yeah,
no, I forget. Is that a recipe that he's going to give you, or is it just a gift?
there's actually 2, and I think they're recipes. I don't know. I don't think they're gifts. I think they're actually recipes.
Okay.
And it's a wobbler, and then he'll give you the recipe for a wand, an Easter wand.
An Easter wand.
Yes.
That sounds wonderful. I don't know what that means, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it works the same as every other wand, which allows you to change your outfit, save your outfits as individual outfits rather than having to put on all the pieces individually.
Okay. Well, that's pretty dope then.
Yeah.
And then the only real news coming up right now is that we have a fishing tournament starting this Saturday on the 11th. And
can't wait.
I'm sorry?
I said, yep, can't wait.
Me neither, especially since the egg drop rates have kind of diminished. Now, we don't really know what's going to be going on with the fishing tournament itself, but I know that in past games that it was whoever caught the biggest fish end up winning the fishing tournament, and then you get a gold, silver, or bronze trophy depending on, where you place during your fishing tournament.
Right. And so what we don't know also is the whoever catches the biggest fish out of what pool.
Oh, that's very true, right? I guess, geez, I can't remember how they used to do it in the past. I can't remember if there was certainly rivers and oceans. Did they limit it to an ocean fishing only tournament or a river fishing only tournament?
Not that I remember, but I mean, ocean would make more sense, right? Because you get the bigger fishes.
Yeah, but if
But
it's,
also, like, are you competing against your friends? Are you competing against only your village?
I
You know,
would think,
what's
only your village because not everybody who plays this game can do it online. It's
Oh, so then what we could do is put a tree in front of all of our villagers' houses so they can't get to the ocean.
yeah, I guess, or do what a lot of people are doing and putting cages in front of their houses
Right,
and
right.
fencing them in like they're zoo animals. Oh man, I've seen a lot of good, uh, villager shaming on Reddit this entire week, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've seen some things where like people would show a picture of Blathers and then show a picture of the bird that's on top of the bulletin board
Yeah.
and go, "What's the difference?"
Well,
Like,
actually, I'm going to send you a video after this because I on Facebook right before we went live, I found a video of someone like I'm just worried about all the animals, like
right.
the hamsters and the owl and the turtles. Like who gets to decide? Like there's a dog there's a dog house, but yet another dog works in City Hall in a government cushy job. So
Right.
yeah, it's
New
interesting.
conspiracy?
Nah,
Perhaps.
perhaps, but we'll hold on to that later. Now,
Okay.
Kurt, you brought a couple things to the show and to my attention about certain things that people have been doing around their villages. Can you explain a little bit on that?
Well, yeah. So, in a really interesting twist, and I guess this has happened in a lot of other games, a lot, but in an interesting twist, in particular, there's been two people. One person who has taken taken the time to terraform their island to look like Hyrule. Um, I know, right up your alley, right?
Right.
Uh, from Link to the Past, and it's kind of remarkable when you see a top-down view of the island, how really good it looks. I mean, especially given what you can do in the game.
Sure. No, no, no. And I saw the mini map, from Animal
Yeah,
Crossing compared to the Hyrulean map of Link to the Past, and it was just like you got the island in there and everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was crazy good.
insane, and I am nowhere close to terraforming yet, but I'm excited. I've seen a lot of double waterfalls with a bridge path, a walkway path between them. I've seen a lot of crazy things going on with terraforming, and I can't wait till I can personally get to, rearrange the island the way that I kind of want it to be.
Right. Yeah, it should be really good. And like I said, I think in the first episode, I do want to see what happens to the villagers if you kind of terraform them underwater.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, if you can terraform anything, couldn't you just run the river past everyone's front door, not allowing them to leave?
Right.
I guess.
I guess. Yeah. So
So this
yeah.
will be in our show notes, so everybody can go and check that out. It's really wonderful. But there was one more thing that I found interesting on Twitter today or yesterday, whenever it was. But what did somebody else do with their town, Kurt?
Yeah, so somebody took the old game Earthbound and kind of recreated it in their town. But what they also did was they took all of the sprites and communication with the destination locale has been interrupted. That's awesome. So they took all the sprites and it, like they
Oh no!
used them as custom designs.
Yeah.
And this sounds like it might be a time for a commercial break.
Well, it wouldn't be our first live show if we didn't have issues go wrong. But why don't you continue talking about what was going on with the Earthbound thing as we try to workshop this?
Right. So and I luckily we've got our two-way audio devices where we can talk even if I have to grab another flight.
Yeah.
So basically they took all the sprites from Earthbound and recreated them as custom designs. which I don't know. It looked ridiculously good because the game is old enough to have sprites that are 8-bit sprites, pretty much, and so they look really clean in the game. Now, I'm not as familiar with Earthbound the game. Are you?
Oh, I am, but Chris Wisdom just frowned upon you. That is his favorite game of all time. Your Dodo code that I gave you before should still work because my gate's open.
Yeah, that's what I was going to try.
But no, it looks beautiful. You know, he's the character's even wearing, the villager's even wearing Ness's costume and hat and all that razzmatazz. It looks great, and it's got this weird polish that, you know, almost has like a Simpsons-esque cartooniness to the actual pathways,
Right.
and stuff like that, and the stop signs that he put in there. So, yeah, it looks beautiful, and it's just a short little, 15, 20 second video that he put up on his Twitter, and, rats off to you. It looks wonderful.
Yeah. So, how much? I know it's Chris Wisdom's favorite game. How much of that did you play?
I never finished it, but
You never finished.
I stuck a toe in there.
Ah, okay. And did you find that it looks as good as it purports to?
I mean,
I think the aesthetic itself just looks amazing.
the aesthetic is great, but also you got to remember, like, you're working off a Super Nintendo game and having it kind of be upconverted. You know what it kind of reminds me of? A little bit of like Link's Awakening on the Switch.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So like you're taking a Game Boy game and then you have to put it into 2020, and this is kind of what like a Paper Mario-esque Earthbound is kind of what this looks like, and
Ah, nice.
I love it.
Very,
So-
very nice. So I am on my way back.
Yeah, no worries. So what I'll talk about now is some of the things that happened to me during my week. I finally caught Celeste on a friend's island,
Awesome.
and I got to experience her giving me recipes and sitting on a bridge and getting shooting stars and all those fragments and pieces, which was a lot of fun. But a big thing that happened to me this week was I reconnected with an old friend because of Animal Crossing.
So like a real old friend.
Like somebody who I haven't talked to in a couple years reached out to me and was like, "Hey man, did you get on this Animal Crossing buzz?" And I was like, "Come on, man, you know I did." And so he instantly threw me his friend code, and within 10 minutes he was over in the island, right? And so we're talking through Facebook Messenger, and we're going back and forth about, oh man, your house looks great. It's so good to see you. He's a big Zelda fan. I'm a big Zelda fan. We used to be in a band together, right?
Ah.
So
okay.
this was my lead guitarist who would always just noodle on top of whatever I gave him. So he comes inside and he's just like, you have my exact guitar that I have had since the age of 6, man. And I was like, oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, I was gifted this. And he's like, man, I love this game. It's so good to talk to you. So what I ended up doing was I gave him I crafted him an ocarina.
Yep.
And gave him an ocarina. And so for the whole time he was there, welcome back, Kurt.
I just flew in from Burpapulco, and boy, are my arms tired.
So when he got here and I gave him the ocarina, I spent a little time fishing. And what he would do is he would sit there next to me as I fish, just playing the ocarina as I'm pulling fish out of the water. And it was just a good time. And, it really rekindled a friendship that I thought, was kind of just off into the distance now. Because
That is awesome.
it really was. And, he hit me up yesterday. And he's like, hey, man, just want to check in to make sure things are good. And what's those turnip prices at? And it's like, yeah, 174. And that's pretty good because this was my first week of rebuying into the turnip market.
Oh, dude, why would you do that?
Because I woke up early enough. It's the first time in 19 years that I woke up early enough to buy turnips.
Wait, don't you work on a farm?
Uh-huh. And you know what I was planting in the greenhouse today?
What?
Turnips. From seed, yeah.
for that sweet turnip wine.
Yep, turnip wine. It's gonna be great. But I sold them for I sold them at 174, 176, and I bought them for 92. So I was able to buy and pay off the studio that we're sitting in. So yay! But it was good, and it was a heck of a week. And he crafted me a Phillies hat and sent it over to me. So
That's awesome.
yeah, real awesome. How about you? What went on in your week today? Now,
Well, it's actually been a pretty busy week work-wise, but I did manage to get my house expanded, and I should have a second expansion room tomorrow. But one of the things that I learned this week was, the balloons, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's familiar with the balloons. Well, apparently, the balloon colors matter, and this might not be news to everybody, but it was news to me. So right now, other than the seasonal balloons, all right, the seasonal balloons are their own special thing, and they're pretty obvious, like the Easter, or I'm sorry, not Easter, Bunny Day.
Yes, Bunny Day
balloon.
pattern.
So the Bunny Day balloons are striped, and they're pretty obvious. But if you get a red balloon, that means there's a recipe attached to it. If you get a yellow balloon, that means there are bells attached to it. So there's golden numnar balloons. If you get a green balloon, that means it's furniture. And a blue balloon, which means it is crafting materials.
There's nothing I hate more than getting crafting materials out of a balloon. It's like, oh my god, a balloon, and here's some clay. Oh.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep, I agree. But other than that, one of the pleasures that I took this week of just reading some of the news going around the islands and whatnot was that pitfall seeds are back.
I saw this.
Oh, I am so happy.
I saw this, and I saw that you were able to craft them.
Yes, you still have to get the recipe, but from what I remember from the recipe that I saw, it was like 2 weeds and two branches.
Yep.
They're
very easy to make.
Yeah.
So you just gotta really watch who's on your best friends list and watch who you're allowing to come around and planting things on your island. I've talked about it before, man. I used to put them in front of people's doors.
Or, in front of, I don't know, the dock leading from the airport. Or
oh,
something.
my God, just a stream of them? It's just like 20. It's like, oh, my God. It's like an Indiana Jones trap. It's a trap puzzle. That's what you should do, right?
Right.
Put some pitfall seeds here and then some, bury some fish somewhere else or stick somewhere else. Oh, my God. It'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I can't wait. I am so very, very happy about this whole thing.
Yeah, it's good to see him coming back. Now we can just get some of the, like I've been saying, some of that Nintendo swag, that cross-promotional Nintendo swag.
I really do wish they would come out with that. I haven't heard anything definitive yet, but man, the game just came out, so
sure,
we've got some time.
And I'm sure during E3, Direct, that we'll hear something. Or something about the game. Maybe not that specifically, but at least something. Right.
So, along with Bunny Day, the Blossom Festival is almost over as well. I know that we had reported at one point that I had heard that it was ending on the 10th, which is tomorrow, but I've heard too many reports saying that it's ending on the 12th. Along with Bunny Day.
All right.
So I have not spent a whole heck of a lot of time on the Blossoms. It was all about getting all the bunny equipment and everything crafted. I've got my bunny room, which this is a quality of life thing that I really wish that they would do, and that is, how we have a wand where you can change your outfits, and you've got the emotes all over the place,
Yeah.
And it would be nice if we had a way to save rooms. Right.
Explain.
So,
what
like
you're
this
about.
beautiful studio,
Yeah.
that we are now in. It would be really cool if you wanted to temporarily between recording sessions save the layout, save everything in the studio as a room outfit, for example,
Okay.
and then replace it with something that you want throughout the week to showcase, and
Okay.
then
And then
on any given time reset it to whatever you want. If it's a saved room outfit, or not outfit, but a room layout.
yeah, like a template. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess it could work as long as you had everything either on you or in your storage.
right,
Because
right.
it would be difficult to have that coding set up and then you have not you're missing some of the pieces.
Well, I think with the outfits, with the way I understood them to work is, as long as you have the stuff, and I think it has to be in your storage or in your house, but as long as you have them, you don't have to carry them with you. That
Okay.
didn't seem to be the case. But I'll get more information on that. Frankly, once I get a wand that works, because I can't do that right now because I don't have the Able Sisters store set up yet.
Oh, geez, you're really behind on everything, aren't you?
Hey, I'm playing as a normal, casual player,
Hey, there's
and
no wrong
just
way to play, Kurt.
there is no wrong way to play.
So let's take a quick break, and then after the break, let's talk a little bit about time travel.
Cool.
And we're back. So, Kurt, time travel. It's a thing. It's a thing in game. It's always been a
is.
thing in game. It's a very hot button topic, I've noticed, right? It's
Yes.
very I'm for it, I'm against it. I know personally I have maybe 2 friends off of my friends list that are big time travelers. And time travel can also, we've talked about it in the past, it can affect your turnips from spoiling. But recently I found out that if you are a time traveler, you can have your friends come over to your island and sell their turnips without spoiling.
Really?
Now you would, if you had turnips, yes, they would spoil instantly.
Yep.
But what happened with our friend Bill Run Jump Stomp, one of his listeners turned back time to when his turnip prices were at I think it was like 170 something.
Yep.
And Bill was like, I don't know. I have over $200,000 in these turnips. I don't know if I want to take the chance. So he did it anyway, and yep, sure as heck, it didn't spoil any of his turnips, and he got to sell them. So,
Wow. So, uh, like you said, play the game you want to play. Play it the way you want to play it. I just have a fundamental problem with the time travel thing, and that only is that the game wasn't designed to be played that way. And granted, you can play it however you want to play it because the game allows you to do that. But I think you kind of shortchange the experience a little bit if you do that.
yes, but aren't you only shortchanging yourself?
Yes, yes, no, that's yes. It's that whole, like, when you cheat yourself. It's you're. I think you are shortchanging the experience, but for you, and so while that's okay. I'm a little bummed because people don't get to see the game unfold as designed.
No, and I agree. I'm not a time traveler. I won't partake in time traveling of any sort on my console. Have I benefited from someone else time traveling for me? Yeah, I super have. I've been to islands that have been 4 months in the future, and I've bought stuff from their shop, and their islands look pretty dope. But also, they always do because they can pop around whenever they want and get whatever they need. So I really just come down to you spent $60 on your game, you play it however the hell you want it.
Right.
It doesn't bother me, but yet I'm still a little fuzzy on it, right?
Yep.
It is what it is, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel strongly about it, really. I just like our friend Shannon. Did she time travel at all?
I don't believe she did.
Yeah, I will bet she didn't as well.
Just because she's got all the gosh darn time on her hands
No
right now,
kidding.
and you know, I think she really is into, you know, having her work pay off. You know,
Yep.
going through and putting time in. So I don't think she did. She doesn't have
Yeah.
any of the cool aesthetics that time travelers normally do. You know.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Well, and the other thing that time travel right now will not solve or will not reveal are things that haven't been updated yet.
It's true.
Right? I mean, so I would like to think that most of the events are probably not in there already. A few,
I don't think they are. I don't think they are at all. Because
yeah,
they even showed with Bunny Day that launched a week, 2 weeks after the game came out. Like they had to patch that in.
right.
So
Right.
if Bunny Day, which is a holiday right around the launch day, isn't in it, there's no way that there's like 4th of July or Earth Day or any of that stuff is
Right.
in game. So
Right. So that's exactly my point. So I mean, so at least there's that. At least there's new, and then things like we do have new amiibos that are going to be activated. We've got new villagers coming. Probably some new items. I would expect.
yeah, you would think.
Um,
Did
so
I ever talk about my amiibo problem?
no,
I don't think I did. So
you had an amiibo problem.
yeah, I had an amiibo problem. Oh, get out of here. Yeah, what happened was I finally unlocked Harv's getaway
Oh boy.
dungeon room, but I would say about out of the 9 or 10 amiibos that I have for this game, I think it was like 5 of them wouldn't work. Like the
Really?
code or the character was not yet imported into the game, and they wouldn't let me do it.
Well, that doesn't surprise me given what they said in their announcement initially, which was that not all the characters were in. That was that last Nintendo Direct. Not all the characters were in, but they hope to hope to reveal them in the future. So I would have been a little surprised if they all were available.
Yeah, I guess I missed that during the last Direct, but yeah, I was pretty upset because like I like Captain, you know, I like my crew's Captain with his Hawaiian shirt and his terrible songs, and like as soon as I got in there, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna do Captain, and it was just like, no, you're not. And I was like, huh, okay, I'm gonna do Rossetti, and they were like, no, try again, bud, and I was just like, oh come on. So yeah, it was nothing big, but also I thought that amiibos would be a little bit more than just, you know, cardboard cutouts that you can move around for pictures.
Oh, they're just cardboard
They're,
cutouts?
they're not, but like that's pretty much what they are. You know, you pose them in a room and take pictures with them.
It's the full 3D model.
It's a 3D model, yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But you should be able to invite them to your town, though.
Yes, unless they're not already in the game.
Oh, agreed. No, agreed. But yeah, because I mean, you have that ability now in your Nook TM, right?
I do, but like once again, I was like, all right, I know the answer is no, but I kind of want Captain in here. Can I get Captain in here? And they were like, nope, you can't.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. I mean that'll happen. But what are you gonna do? He'll get there. He'll get there.
I want him now.
Yeah, I want KK Slider in town now, but I'm not getting him yet.
Yeah, well, you got to work for that at least.
I'm working for it.
Well, I think we've hit that time on the show. Kurt.
Already, huh?
Yeah, I think it's time for Behind the Bells.
Okay, well, let me go get our special guest, and he can do the segment. Pardon me, excuse me.
Okay.
Pardon
Yep.
me. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into Behind the Bells, the story of the Nook Syndicate. Oh yeah, you got to unlock the front door, and the handle sticks. So just open up.
Okay,
You got to twist the handle a little bit and let him in.
Yeah. Hold
And
on.
tell him to take his shoes off because I don't want him tracking dirt into the inside
it's
my
the way
studio.
he comes anyway. So he's a little concerned now that we're live.
And tell him to wash his hands too because I don't want him, mucking up everything in here with his.
He's coming in. I'm just gonna wait out here and make sure
stuff.
nobody comes in.
No problem.
To interrupt. Hey Phil, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you? It's good to see you again. How was your week?
Well, it was okay. I just a little nervous because of the Nook Syndicate and
I noticed you're wearing a
I
bag
don't want to
now.
be found. Well, got to protect my identity. I'm really quite nervous.
Yeah,
So,
I can see that
um,
by your squiggle lines. So what's up? What can you tell us about this week on
okay,
Behind the Bells?
okay. So, one of the things that we need to really talk about this week is Isabelle. And Isabelle, the assistant to Tom Nook, she first appeared back in New Leaf,
Yep.
and ever since then, she's kind of been, uh, yeah. Don't show your emotions too much about her because Tom Nook is pretty jealous.
What?
Um, well, so she's been getting a lot of attention, and Tom Nook kind of doesn't like that. For example, when Nintendo's official Animal Crossing Twitter account was created, it was named after Isabelle, and she's the one that answered all the Twitter questions
Oh, that's adorable.
until Tom Nook took it back.
What?
Now it's run by Tom Nook.
Well,
Um,
well,
yeah,
is that
yeah.
because she left for Smash for a little bit, or?
No, no, no. It's just she was getting too much attention. And I know it's a little weird, and I'm not very comfortable talking about this. But also, did you know Isabelle had a twin brother?
No.
Yeah, Isabelle's twin brother is Digby, and Digby used to be associated with the HHA,
Sure, sure, sure.
and but now he's missing.
That
He's 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 nowhere to be found.
oh. What? Well,
Coincidence? I don't think so. I think that Tom has, well, let's not. I'm not going to say Digby's living with the fishes, but I don't know. Nobody's seen him since HHA.
so you're saying
Uh,
it wouldn't be a surprise if I pulled something other than an egg or a sea bass out of the ocean?
those boots have to belong to somebody. So so here's the other thing. Uh, Isabelle, through previous games and through what she's told people, has a huge crush on KK Slider.
Who doesn't?
Well, I know, right? He's so talented and can play any type of music, but Tom Nook, I believe, is jealous, and because of that, he keeps her indentured. I mean, why do you, I mean you showed me today she's wearing what kind of clothing did
Oh,
you
she's
send?
got two Gucci sweaters.
Two Gucci sweaters. A town secretary is going to make enough money to afford two Gucci sweaters? No, but a mob boss is. So, anyhow, he keeps her indentured. And KK Slider, when was the first time we saw him in the old GameCube game?
I don't remember.
It was right away. He was there at the train
You're
station.
right. He was at the train station.
Yes. And why do you think it's so hard to get him to come to your town now?
Well, I
It's
guess because it's a deserted island, and
that has every town in this game has an airport.
well, with the price of fuel these days, and
Which is going down because of things that are happening in the world. The islands aren't immune, right? So, uh, so I think Tom is making us do so much work that we're almost resentful to KK for all the work we've had to do to get him to come by our island. People are getting angry because he's not here yet. And when he shows up, if he doesn't play the hits, like, oh, I don't know, KK Country or KK Bossa Nova, then I think there's going to be an uproar.
stale
So,
cupcakes, my dude. Stale cupcakes.
okay. So, when so basically Isabelle also see, in previous games she said she's had a crush on the player, but I don't believe that's true. I believe Tom believes that's true, but I believe she's trying to make us like her more so we can save her. She's just trying to ingratiate herself in a subtle way.
Maybe next time I see her, I'll see if she's blinking in Morse code.
Yeah, you should definitely do that. When she makes reference to other towns, she talks about the fact that she has many other sisters, all who work as secretaries in those towns. I think we're looking at a trafficking ring. I think Tom Nook has all these women, all probably from the same litter as Isabelle, and is making them work. Now, also, here's the sad part about the Isabelle situation, and kind of the last thing. If you've paid attention to the Isabelle lore, and I hate to even say this because she's so nice, but if you pay attention to the Isabelle lore, she likes whiskey.
I'm sorry. What?
Yep. She's turned to whiskey to avoid the pain, and has started taking firearms lessons from that Doom guy. Coincidence? I think not. I think she is just yet another victim of Tom Nook.
Well, thanks
and with that, I need to get out of here.
Yep, I would get out of here before
they're gonna find me.
They're gonna hear you soon. Tell Kurt to flush twice and wash his hands before he comes back in. Oh my lord, not a
Phil, I can still hear you. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. We're going to just I got to sneak him out the front door because you don't have a back door yet. Why? Because Tom Nook doesn't allow you to have back doors. And we'll oh boy, we'll get things going. All right, I'm almost back in the studio.
Yep,
I got him on a secret plane off the island. And oof.
Well, it's good to see you again, Kurt.
Yeah, good to be here.
So I think that's where we're gonna call it.
I think so.
So Kurt, where can people find you?
They can find me all over the Twitterverse at VO by Kurt. You can find me right here on Twitch at Kurtstable, and all over the Giant Size Team Up Network doing various shows and whatnot. And obviously Thursday nights here, tune right in to see Nook's Tavern.
And you can find me on Imaginary Nomad on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. You should do everything that Kurt said. I am part of Botch, the D&D podcast. Also, Breaking the Panel. And all that can be found over at gstu.net. You can follow the show at Nook's Tavern on Twitter. If you have a moment, head on over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review because it would really help get the word out. Email the show with your stories and we'll read them out here on the live show at nookstavern@gmail.com. Thank you to Emily Swan for the album art. More of her over at a swan named Emily on all social media. And we still have that Discord open, which is in the show notes. Anything else, Kurt?
No, I think we're good to go. Thank you guys for joining us this week.
Yeah, and for the audio listeners, we're doing this live now. So come over to twitch.tv/Imaginary Nomad every Thursday night at 8 p.m. and check out the live show. Thanks, everybody, for coming out, and we'll see you next week.